So a few things to get out of the way first. Obviously, this doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of hard work goes into this conference. And the main instigator of that is our very own Angela Sinclair, who tomorrow, straight after conference, will start preparing for next year's conference and berating me and Steve Gillen. But she does an absolutely fantastic job. So thank you, Angela, for everything you do to prepare for conference. Not forgetting, of course, the backroom staff. We've got Nicola. Great to see you back at conference, Nicola, after a lengthy absence. And we've got Paula, we've got Stevie Lewis, who does all the live streaming. We've got a load of admin staff who do support us in preparing for conference. They've done amazing jobs. They've booked you in every morning, make sure your handsets are all right, and they put together your packs for you. So thank you very much for everything you do. We've got our tech crew at the back who've made everything run smoothly, and we've got the people who set up the stage, the handsets, the lot. It's all a big team effort. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. But you know, conference, most of all, thank you, each and every one of you. This has been an absolutely fantastic week. I have enjoyed every minute of it. I know you've put a lot of hard work in. I know you've socialised well. I hope you've really enjoyed it. And we've had a lot of first-time delegates here, and we've had positive feedback. We really have. We can feel the positivity from you on that stage. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate knowing that you trust us, that you've got faith in us, and that you've got our backs, because I'll tell you something, we will always have yours. So thank you for this week's conference. It's been amazing. We've had some great first-time speakers. That's what we like to see. We've had loads of people popping the cherries at conference. That's fantastic. Well done to all the first-time speakers. Now you've done it once. Next year you'll be up and down. Yeah, let's see more of it. We've had some good guest speakers, most notably Paco from Colombia. Very passionate speaker, he did well. And my old mate Nazrul Ismail, yeah, he went down very well. Very clever man. I always go to him if I want to debunk what the government are telling us. He's a fantastic friend. Now, I couldn't put you through anymore. I asked Phil Coppell 2 questions, right? And the reason I'm going to email him and get the answers for you, because I couldn't put you through anymore. If I'd have got him to answer them while he was still here, we'd still be here now. I couldn't do it to you, all right? So, you know, give me some credit. We've had the Prisons Minister, all right? And he announced the removal of razors, which is fantastic. We've been campaigning long and hard for that. But he's not going to be there much longer. In about 6 weeks' time, we'll have to start all over again, giving our arguments to the new Prisons Minister and the new Secretary of State. We had the Shadow Minister. Steve made it clear to the Shadow Minister that we want our right to strike back. Labour have pledged in the first 100 days of office, when they get into power, which they will, that they will restore our right to strike, because, that's the way we interpret it, because they have said they will rescind anti-trade union legislation. Part of that anti-trade union legislation is Section 127, which we're restricted by. So we will keep up the pressure on them, I can guarantee you that. General election announced. Well, I know what that means, and you know what that means. We need to structure our membership's expectations. Your pay will now be severely delayed. Guaranteed. 4th of July, they get into power. By the 20th of July, they'll be on summer recess, not back till September. They're not going to make a decision on pay within that 2-week period. They'll get their feet under the table, and then they'll start giving us excuses that the country's skint, and we haven't got the finances, and we're going to have to level up, and we're going to have to reduce public spending. That's what I expect them to say anyway. So, structure your members' expectations. Not our fault. We didn't know a general election was coming. But I expect some indication before summer recess from a new government that, yeah, we've got your pay recommendations, because the pay recommendations at some point before the end of June will definitely be delivered to the government. Definitely. They'll be there in the in-tray waiting for whoever takes over on the 4th of July. So the pay review body will do their bit, but we're waiting for a new government to decide when they're going to accept those recommendations and pay us out. So I envisage probably same as last year, sometime in September. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, but I can't see anything else. And of course, that now delays the decision on the rollout of PAVA and the youth custody estate. And the reason it's been delayed, I'll be honest with you, is because the government know what's coming. They know what's coming from the Howard League and all these reform groups, the legal challenge. They're getting all the ducks in a row so they can bat it off. Well, we've got a lot of support for PAVA and the youth custody estate from Labour politicians that I've met who had reservations about the use of PAVA with juveniles, had reservations until I presented them with all the facts, and they were absolutely horrified what our members in that estate face day in, day out. We will keep the pressure up on whichever government comes into power to ensure that you are protected at work and ensure that our colleagues in the juvenile estate get issued with PAVA. I can promise you that. Age is never an excuse for violence, but it's an excuse that's getting delivered by people who will never inhabit our world. Shaka Hislop, show racism the red card. What a fantastic speaker he was. And it worked, the live link worked, everything went smooth. And we can guarantee him that we're on board, because I know the work you all do in your workplaces to eradicate all forms of racism and bigotry and discrimination. I know it because you tell me the tales of what's going on. Keep up that good work. Keep up that good work, because everybody needs to work in a safe workplace where they feel comfortable. Similar to conference, everybody's welcome, everybody feels comfortable. We want that for all our workplaces. Fringe meetings, we've had some great fringe meetings. The health and safety protocol was well attended. I hope that educated you. I hope you now realise, maybe use it a bit cleverer so you don't give people the opportunity to dock you some pay. And yes, I have heard about the Tubu fringe. I have heard all about it. I welcome your engagement in that fringe. I welcome you telling them how it is for you with your senior leaders. No good me and the NEC telling them. Now they've heard it from you, and we've got a meeting in a couple of weeks with them in London, face-to-face. We insisted it was face-to-face. I'll be wanting some feedback from that meeting. I'll be wanting to know what you want to know. I've complained to you. I've phoned you up. I've told you what's going on. Why haven't you acted? What are you doing about it? What powers have you got? So I'll be asking those questions, and I'll be wanting answers. I'm pleased to announce that the charity, thank you to the Finance Committee, I've donated £5,000 to Clare House Children's Hospice. Absolutely fantastic, from a fantastic union. What a fantastic union, really is. That'll mean a lot to them, and I'll happily go along with a big cheque, get some photos for Gate Lodge, and I'll present it to them. Now, we've heard a lot, haven't we, over the week, about the pressures you all face in every workplace. But not forgetting the open estate. Everyone thinks the open estate is a cushy number. Yeah, it's less violent than the closed estate. But you've heard it, the issues they have. The type of prisoner they're now getting allocated, and they're only getting allocated inappropriate prisoners because we're full and they've got some spaces. They're not getting suitable prisoners. They're getting prisoners from the closed estate who are cat sees and, oh, let's rush them out the door, put them in the open estate. They've got a couple of months left to serve. That'll do. That'll create some leverage for us. It lands on the open estate. They don't have segregation units. They've hardly got any staff. If someone's kicking off or high on spice, they're just as at risk as everybody else. So let's not forget the pressures we all face in every type of estate, including secure hospitals. We've heard from secure hospitals. Don't forget about us. They said, we will never forget about you. You're part of the POA family. I know the dangers you face. It's all right us in the high security estate saying we look after some of the most dangerous criminals in the country. You want to walk around the psychiatric wards in the secure hospitals and see some of the lunatics they have to look after. It's absolutely horrific. the dangers they face. And they face the same problems as us all. They struggle to recruit staff. They struggle to retain staff because their wages for the risk they face is not adequate. We will continue to try and get more staff and better pay for our colleagues in the secure psychiatric hospitals, as we will in the private sector, because I know what your staffing levels are like as well, and I know some of the dangers you face, because your firms that you work for are obsessed with Unlock all the time, no matter what. I don't blame them for that. I blame the contracts that are presented to them by the government, which fine them. Fine them if they haven't got enough prisoners unlocked, and they are not unlocked for as long as the contract says. They have got targets to meet. And if they restrict their regimes like we do, they get fined. And that's why our colleagues in the private estate are put at risk time and time again, supervising massive numbers of prisoners, sometimes on their own. So we will continue to fight for the private sector as well. I'd like to thank Elmley for bringing a motion to conference about psychiatric support for prison staff in the workplace. We've been campaigning for years with our employer to implement a better system than what we've got. Our employer will tell us all, won't they? You've got a 24/7 helpline that you can access, well, so is the POA. You can have counselling sessions. You can only have 6. Well, if you want counselling, the POA can provide that as well. We can get you physiotherapy if you've got something wrong physically. Well, we can do that as well. The OH services are accessible to all. Look how well we look after our staff. What they haven't got is what the POA's got. They haven't got the firefighters charity. They haven't got rehab centres over the country that you can go to free of charge when you're returning to work after a physical injury. We've even got mental health support at those centres now. They haven't got none of that. What we want, and what we've asked for, is we've asked for a trained professional. Mental health nurse, counsellor, psychologist, don't care who it is, as long as they're trained professional. We've asked for a trained professional in every jail, accessible during the core week, Monday to Friday. So when you've dealt with a traumatic incident, you can walk off the landing and you can offload in a private room with a professional. They may even be able to signpost you to services in your community. If we had that, they could go out on home visits instead of your line manager, so you don't feel intimidated. Give you some counselling at home, maybe encourage you to get back to work quicker, maybe help you get back to work quicker. That's what we want. And mental health is a big thing in our workplaces, because I know that PTSD is rife. I know we are dealing with more traumatic incidents day in, day out. And I know that we need to support each other more, and we need to start speaking up. And I know some of the traumas you deal with, one of them being suicides. And suicides, quite rightly, as was highlighted this week, they're on the rise with our members, with our work colleagues. And when you deal with suicide in your workplace as a prison officer, and I'm talking from my own experience now, I was hardened to suicide, like most of you, because the longer you work in the prison service, the more used to it you get, because it happens. You deal with it, cut people down, you see dead bodies, you administer CPR. You normalise that. You become hardened to it because it becomes a normal part of your job. Oh, just another day, it's part of the job. That's so wrong. So wrong. That should not be normalised. But it is. I didn't realise how much suicide affects people until it personally affected me. Okay? So, a real dear friend and a work colleague going through a bad time, in and out of psychiatric wards, attempted suicide a few times. We supported him. Got him through the IHR process, got him medical retirement. At one point, I had to phone our governor. He was wanting to dismiss him on a capable facility. He said, look, just leave it with me. He's going through a bad time. He's in a psyche ward. He's put him for IHR, let the process take its toll. If he doesn't get it, you give me the letter, I'll take it round, dismiss him with compensation, job done. If he does get it, he's off your books anyway. Not all governors are bad. Governor said, yeah, fair enough, we'll do that. That's great. So we get him his treatment. He comes out of the psyche ward. He's on meds. He's stabilised. He's getting there. Great. Thank God. Gets a job. Gets his medical pension. Everything's great. So I thought, right, not ready to mix with former colleagues yet. Not ready to mix with crowds. Because you know what it's like. You go out with your mates and it'd be like, oh, yeah, what happened? He wasn't ready for that. I said, right, I'll take you out Saturday afternoon round Liverpool City Centre, just me and you. We had a great afternoon. Fantastic. He was getting back to his old ways and we had a great laugh. That was in June of last year. And I always remember, we were like an old married couple. I said, as it come to the end of the day, I said, do us a favour, I know you're getting the train home. When you get home, just give us a text, let us know you're okay. He goes, yeah, I'll do that. And he did. But I remember while I was out with him, as we were having a laugh, he said, he just come out with it. He said, I'm coming off my meds. I said, why are you coming off your meds? I said, you look great. I said, your mood's stabilised. Look, you're getting back to your old self. Why are you coming off your meds? He goes, because I don't want to be relying on pills for the rest of my life. I said, no, just stay on your meds, mate. Just stay on them. That was in June. On August the 15th last year, I was driving to Bristol. And I got a phone call telling me that he just committed suicide. He'd hung himself. So I spent the rest of that trip to Bristol crying my eyes out. I got to Bristol, checked into my hotel, and I walked around Bristol city centre probably for about 3.5 hours, checked my Fitbit when I got back to the room. I'd done about 25,000 steps, and I was just in a daze. I just couldn't believe it, couldn't compute it. We need to start supporting each other more. We need to start talking more. Mental health shouldn't be a taboo subject. And if you're affected by suicide, like I am still to this day, because I still can't get my head around it, I still have moments, get help. If you need help, ask for help and get help. What I want you to take back from what I'm saying now is, think of this and relay this to people who may be in a similar situation, who are worried about popping pills for the rest of the days, even though it improves their mental health. Think about this. If you just had open heart surgery and it was a success, and your consultant said to you, you need to take this one pill for the rest of your life and it'll keep you alive after that surgery, you'd take it. Because that's a physical ailment. Why are we so different and reluctant to do the same when it comes to our mental health? If the professional or the consultant says to you, we've stabilised your mood, you're getting there, take this one pill for the rest of your life and you'll be fine. Why won't we do it? So if you know someone, and I know there'll be people in this room who do, or you're dealing with someone who's of a similar attitude because we're big, roughy-tufty prison officers, encourage them to keep taking the meds, because I don't want anyone in this room to ever experience what I did with my mate. Just bear that in mind. We're talking about culture. We need to change the culture of our senior leaders, because the culture of our senior leaders, with a lot of them now, is I don't care about your safety, I'm going to do what I want. No, you're not. You challenge them. The culture amongst some of our senior leaders at this moment in time is I've got no empathy for staff who are suffering, who are going off sick. And that culture will drift down to line managers who some will say don't care, because what happens when they're supposed to issue a sick one? I've been told from above I've got to issue a sick one, and it's wrong. Look at policy. Everybody has discrepancy. Don't have to issue sick warnings. Don't have to do it at all. And what we need from you is we need evidence. Whenever a line manager says to you, oh, I've got to issue a sick warning, I've been told, can you send me that in an email, please? Send me it in an email so I've got evidence to say such and such told the line manager he couldn't use his discretion. Send it to your NEC rep and we will challenge that, as we consistently do at a senior level. I keep hearing about that, and it really does annoy me. I hope we've put to bed the closed grade issue. I really do. Nothing can be further than the truth that if you think we're not fighting for closed grades. And I was concerned to hear what Watton said. Nothing changes as a closed grade when you transfer into F&S pay scales. If you've got your leave in days, it stays in days. It doesn't transfer to hours without your permission. If you've got your leave in hours, it transfers in hours. It doesn't reduce just because you've opted in. What might happen is on promotion within F&S, so if you go from a band 4 to a band 5 on promotion while you're in F&S, that might be based on a 37-hour week. If that's the case, we need to know about it because it's an anomaly. That's the only thing I can think of. So Watton, keep us updated on that one, please, and we'll take that forward for you nationally. We've had a great announcement, Loudon Grange in the public sector, absolutely fantastic. We want all our prisons in the public sector. The private sector know what our stance is on this, but it doesn't stop us working constructively with them and getting recognition, right, because they realise the value of the POA and the value of how we can force them to keep their jails safe. Prisons shouldn't be run for profit. And similar to what Scotland have achieved some fantastic results, not only with pay with their government, but with the commitment by their government to return every prison into the public sector, and any new build prisons will be public sector. So they've done some fantastic work on that. And me and Steve will do the same for you in England and Wales with a new government. I personally think privatisation in England and Wales is here to stay. I can't see that changing with a new government. So if it's here to stay, we'll keep engaging with them, we'll keep plugging away, and we'll try and get recognition rights with them all, because it's only when you've got the POA supporting you that you've got a chance of getting safe workplaces. So we'll keep up the fight. And we'll continue to fight. We'll continue to fight for each and every one of you, no matter what your work role is, no matter what your workplace is. We will continue to fight as long as I'm national chair. I can guarantee it. I ain't going anywhere, I'm telling you. I actually want to fight. Those who know me, well, I don't mind a bit of fighting. Because even when the odds are against us, there is still a possibility that we will win. Never forget that. Even when the odds are against you, there's still a possibility that you can win. And I will continue to fight for you to lower your retirement age, to issue parva in every estate, not just the juvenile estate. I know the female estate need it because of the self-harm they're dealing with. And I know the open estate need it of a day because their estate is getting more dodgy as we send inappropriate prisoners there. We will fight for your safety at work, and we will never, ever give up. And I will do everything I possibly can to make those things happen. The reason we're in such a mess, think about it, the reason we are in such a mess is because governments keep listening to people who have never ever worked in a prison or a secure hospital, and are telling us what's wrong and telling us what we need to do to put it right. And a prime example of that is payback punishment. Who on earth thought of that? Pick up a bit of litter when you've abused staff. And we'll keep challenging the Chief Inspector, because what you'll notice with his reports is that he comes up with criticisms, but he never ever comes up with solutions. He says, Cookingwood, for example, he says, they're only locking up 69 children and they've got loads of staff. Why can't they unlock them all at the same time? Yeah, so what's your solution, Charlie, when we unlock them all at the same time and they try and kill each other or they try and attack us? What's your solution to that? How do you get around that? He's got no solutions, because all he's bothered about is creating headlines and criticising you. Well, I ain't having it. I ain't having it anymore. And we're finished with the Chief Inspector of Prisons and his merry band of fantasists. And we will keep challenging them, and we'll keep criticising them, because they do not live in the real world. They certainly don't live in ours. We've heard this week that many of you are in conflict with your senior managers. I get that. Being in conflict for years with various people. You'll notice now that industrial relations have stabilised. They're very positive. We've got facility time this week. That's a positive. We get on well in meetings. We're getting deals done. We're trying our best to protect it in the workplace. People are listening. Many of you are in conflict. Some of you don't even talk to your governors anymore. Sometimes you've got to be the bigger person. Just try and knock on the governor's door and say, we need to sort this out. Even if I haven't spoken to them for years, we need to sort this out because it's not good for you, it's not good for my members. And if that doesn't work, then at least you can say to yourself and your membership, I've tried. Because in reality, what works in the real world is cooperation. Why does cooperation work above conflict? Well, it works because nobody is right all the time, and even a broken clock is right twice a day. We know we're not going to be right all of the time, but at least we hope we're going to be right more than twice a day. Compromise is not a weakness, it's a strength. Remember that. And it's a strength. Keep doing as much as you can for as many people as you can. Every day, even on bad days, because even on a bad day, there is always something good that you can do. Together in unity, we will fight for your rights. We will pressure governments. We will make your workplaces safer. And we will continue to challenge poor behaviour and poor decisions by your leaders. Together in unity, we can do this. Our unity is our strength. Our togetherness is our power. You are my inspiration, my motivation, and I will never stop fighting for you. Never stop believing that you can make things better. Never stop fighting for your membership. Remember, we will always support you. We will always be there for you. And we will never, ever give up. Because this is a great union. You are great delegates, great branch officials, and we have a great membership. Together, let's make our workplaces safe, and let's take on whatever government comes in next, and let's express our feelings in solidarity, in unity, and from a position of strength. I wish you all the best. Solidarity to you all.